and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 7th IESF World Championship here in Seoul, South Korea. My name is Rapid. Joining me once again, Justin. How's it going?
I'm doing fine, thank you. For same as last couple of games, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Each game better than the last, and we're down to the last game being broadcast here for the group stages today. We've had some close games, we've had some not close games, but coming down here to the last game of the night, it's going to be Indonesia facing off against a team that we might not have necessarily expected to be doing well or poorly, depending on how you want to look at it. Philippines coming in, they had a rough start to the tournament, but looks like they have at least this opportunity, I believe one more, depending on how many group stage matches they've played. Probably see some results on those come in here a little bit later. But both of these teams do have some history within their regions. For instance, Indonesia, you guys might have heard of the Jakarta Juggernauts. If you follow a lot of the Southeast Asian leagues, you might have seen them play there. It's essentially the roster that they're being fielded today, otherwise known as, I think, Konoha All-Stars, but essentially an all-star roster from their region. It's going to be exciting to watch them play here today. I was watching them practice a little bit earlier on, so certainly very committed. It's going to be exciting to see what they have to bring to the table here today.
And then since this is the last game of the prelims, you want to end on a good note. And this, with the win, they might be turning around in the next couple of days. So if you're looking at the group match results right now, Group A, we got Mongolia with 1 win, 1 loss, Israel with 2 losses, Serbia 2 wins, 0 losses, Taipei 1-1.
Right, of course, moving on to Group B, we've got Switzerland crushing that group. And I was actually talking to the South African team, and they're like, yeah, Switzerland, they're pretty good. So expecting them to come out on top, but also Thailand off to a 2-0 start there with wins over Iran and South Africa. Really impressive play there, and so excited to see how well they do as the group continues. Group C, Australia 1-1, China 2-0 so far, but I was talking to the Australians a little bit earlier, and China may have some weaknesses that may get exposed as the tournament goes on, but certainly looking very, very strong. Tunisia 0-2, Romania 1-1, and I believe Romania plays Australia coming up towards the end of the group. Group D, of course, the group that has Korea in it, the country that's actually won IESF the last 3 years in a row, along with Indonesia and the Philippines, and of course Russia picking up a very dominant win earlier. But Indonesia and the Philippines, they're the two teams that are actually facing off right now. You can see the matchups right there. We've got Luffy versus Kitgart. I know the former Teen 8 80 carry Nien goes by Luffy a lot. He's here boot camping in Korea, so maybe a little bit of a shout out there. Phoenix versus Terraris, Apple versus Hamud, God Nair versus Gyoza, and of course Crusher versus Donat round out their lineup.
This may be a very important match for this Group D in general, with Russia having 1 win and also Korea having 1 win. So this match will determine, I feel like, what happens throughout this group stages for Group D, right?
Right, and if you want to be in control of your fate in the group stage, because there's 4 teams per group, if you drop down 0-2, you're pretty much, your chances of getting out of the group are very, very low. So you do need to have at least a 1-1 coming in through your second game in order to put yourself in a good position for getting out of groups. And you can see, of course, the teams there on your screen right now. It's going to be exciting to see what both of them bring to the table, as it does look like we are getting both teams into the lobby, ready for champion picks and bans here coming up in just a minute. But Indonesia versus the Philippines. Now, the Philippines actually have a really interesting story behind their team. It's sort of a combination of a couple of different teams, Choi Gaming and then the Toasted Tyrants coming together. I think for a while they were called the Choisted Tyrants because they were like combining their team names. But now just Choi Gaming, they're the Filipino representatives here. And it's actually kind of a little bit of a return for the Philippines here. The team captain, AOI or Aoi, he actually started the team, and he actually played in the 5th IESF representing the Philippines here. Now he's coming back as the team captain, not playing on the roster, but he has that international experience for the Philippines. Their roster, coming together is a lot of, hometown talent from the Philippines, from that region, but it's a much bigger stage here at IESF.
Of course. And with and as you mentioned before, stepping down from starting roster and moving as like a sort of a team coach is what you need. You need infrastructure for a team to succeed. So maybe that was a good move
Right. Well, and for Aoi specifically, a lot of reasons for him stepping down was a lot of parental pressure. There is like, is esports really the right way to go? You get a lot of pressures, a lot of other things to do in life, and he actually did go ahead and step down there. But now he's back and ready to lead another IESF team to represent the Philippines here at IESF, the 7th championship, a couple of years after he competed. So really nice to see kind of the return here to lead this Choi Gaming group from the Philippines versus Indonesia rather, who, to be fair, are fielding an all-star roster from their own country. They've got experience as the Jakarta Juggernauts, and it's going to be exciting to see both of these regions compete against each other in our last match of the day.
And we are trying to start the game. We have people joining in the lobby.
Yeah, just waiting on one final player to join the lobby, and then when all that gets sorted out, we should be going in here. Excited to get this last game underway. It's certainly been a relatively long day. We've got 6 matches of League of Legends here, and then I believe tomorrow we will be starting best of 3s between the quarterfinal teams, moving on, of course, into the semis and then the finals. It's going to be exciting to see which teams kind of rise to the top. We already have several teams going 2-0 in their groups. It's going to be exciting to see whether or not teams can go undefeated.
And this game in itself, this will determine who comes out of the win in that Group B right here. You don't, as you have mentioned before, you don't want to be in that 0-2 position.
Right.
Especially if you're in maybe a stronger group, just with teams like Korea and Russia in the group itself. So
yeah,
this win is very important.
Yeah, if you have 2 teams in the group that are already at 2-0, you gotta win this match to really stay in it, barring some super crazy outcomes. But yeah, win or lose, both of these teams are going to gain a lot of important experience for their regions competing here on what is for most of them their first international stage. Now, I talked to a few of the players who have traveled internationally, to play for different esports events, and it's been interesting to see the different experiences that they've had representing their countries. And for IESF, several of these teams just came together to compete in the IESF qualifiers for their region, and so it's going to be exciting to see whether or not they really come together during this tournament, and really whether they stay together after this tournament, as this is going to be some teams' final games as a group together.
It all depends on how much success they have in this World Championship here. And like we mentioned before, constantly it's all about that exposure, right? If you do well here, you can prove to the world that you are a good player, and then you might be moving up to a better team, good team, or stay with the team and try to compete at a higher level or at an international level, again, like this one. So
yeah, I was on a higher level of my hotel this morning. I came out, walked outside, I was ready to go, and then I realized I was getting a little bit too much exposure because I had forgotten my umbrella and it started raining super hard. So in a way, I have a lot in common with a lot of these players, Justin.
Of course, if that's how you want to put it, okay.
Of course, did get my umbrella safe and sound in case you guys were too concerned about that. Ready to get some more indoor games happening here today, as I don't know, it's been pretty crazy. Everybody told me when I was flying to Korea, they're like, dude, it's super cold there. So I bundled up, had like 4 layers on, walked outside, and I was like, oh my goodness, it is so cold here.
For those who may have never came to Korea, the winter in Korea is very piercing. Is how I like to call it. The wind rips through your skin and the coldness just seeps in through that rip. It's not a fun place to be in the winter.
Yeah, but you know what is a fun place to be in the winter is playing League of Legends.
And that's something you can do regardless of the weather.
I was going to say, unless when I was growing up, we had our computer in the garage of my house. So it was, if it was like super cold outside, you're basically freezing while you're playing video games, which I see a lot of the players like playing with their hand warmers like that. That was technology I didn't have growing up. That would have saved me a whole lot of struggles. But we're all inside, we're all indoors here at the Nexon Arena, and it's actually pretty incredible. I walked in, and I mean, I've seen events here at the Nexon Arena before, but you walk inside and you're just like, whoa, this is actually pretty ridiculous. You've got huge screens, great spectator situation, amazing booths for the players, and it's just incredible to see how everything has come together here for IESF.
And then we also, looking straight down from this caster, that we see a merchandise store too. So I guess this place got everything.
It's pretty all-inclusive. I was was walking around just trying to get a feel for exactly how big this was. There's like all of this balcony seating that's covered with all the flags from the different countries being represented here, and it's actually pretty incredible. We got some cool messages coming out from the players here, and it's nice to see.
So we're watching an esports Olympics to a certain extent.
Pretty much, and to be fair, I don't know of any other international esports event that involves quite this many countries. And that's why the I is in IESF. It is international esports at its finest. And it's pretty cool to see so many different countries come together. Many with still developing esports agendas. It's nice to see them really pay off on a global level and get a chance to meet a lot of these teams.
There are a lot of diversified regions coming in here and getting a lot of exposure, and this is a way for us as fans to figure out which regions are growing, which regions are not. We've been seeing Korea and AEU, China for a very long time, and this might be their stepping stone to getting that exposure that they need.
Absolutely, we've had Korea and I think Sweden. Those are the only two countries that have won IESF in the past, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can do it again. Sweden not fielding a League of Legends team, if I'm not mistaken, but still with very strong contenders here in the tournament. And of course, Korea fielding one of the strongest teams for League of Legends here, along with China, Australia, a lot of strengths coming out there. And it'll be interesting to see which teams bubble up to the top. I know Russia with a 2-0 start as well. Some pretty incredible strengths there, so I'm just excited to get these games underway.
Yeah, Switzerland too are doing very well in this tournament right now. So they're a team to look out for.
Talking to a few of the other teams who all said, yes, Switzerland, definitely one of the big powerhouse teams to watch out for. So they are in kind of a rough group, but it does look like both teams are ready to go here for champion picks and bans. So excited to see our last game of the day about to get underway. We've got Indonesia taking on the Philippines, ready to go for champion picks and bans starting here in just a second. Both teams finally loaded in, and here we go. Hope you guys are ready for our last broadcast League of Legends game of the day. Philippines versus Indonesia. We're in game underway, or into picks and bans rather, for Philippines. Of course, starting things out with a Tom Kench ban.
Yeah, the screen just coming up for our viewers, but yeah, there Tom Kench was banned right away. Callista, a very good ban. A lot of objective control with her E and her autos. Maybe.
Right, and there's Tom Kench and Dr. Mundo, a couple of big tanky tanks already taken out there. That was Indonesia with the first ban, by the way. Apologies for that mistake. But moving on to our second ban here for the Philippines. It's going to be Elise finally getting to see that champion ban. Incredibly successful over her games here today. But first Callista ban, first AD carry ban, let's put it that way, that we've seen here on stream.
Yeah, Callista as an ADC might not be strong in general, but it is strong. But the more things in competitive gaming, it's that it has so much objective control, including Baron and Dragon. So Lulu ban coming here, all these bans are very standard bans here coming in. For the last ban, we might see a Kindred ban maybe, or Ryze even, a very strong mid laner in this meta.
Yeah, we've actually been looking at both of these teams play, and at least from watching the Philippines play a little bit earlier on in their game versus Russia, it was still very evident that they did have a lot of strengths up there in the top lane. But wow, speaking of top lane, a first pick Jax coming in from Indonesia, that's a lot of confidence.
That is a lot of confidence, especially with picks like Lissandra Ryze still up in there, or a Thresh pick, or not a Thresh pick, support pick might be good here too also, but we're now seeing Brandon Rek'Sai coming in from Team Philippines.
Now, we've already seen a Brand win already today. I'm not necessarily sure if you're going to be going up against the Ram, that's the way to go, but looks like Kindred is available. We've seen that banned out twice today for good reason. It does look like Indonesia is looking to lock that win in. Already a couple of very scary carry picks starting out.
Kindred jungle, high damage output during games, especially if you have laners that have hard CC that can lock the other opposing laner down. Since Rek'Sai was taken away, probably the best thing they could take at this moment. Thresh also a very good support pick. Brand, I don't know right now if he's going to be used as a mid laner or support.
Right. Brand support, by the way, if you've never had to play against it, incredible amounts of damage. I mean, that guy, you're like, oh, a support He's definitely not going to kill me. Willie's totally going to kill you. So excited to see whether or not that is support or mid lane or top lane. I know I've talked to a couple of top laners who was like, dude, the top lane brand is so good. I'm just like, no, really not. We'll get a chance to see, and of course we have seen a lot of unique picks here in between a lot of the different games that we've seen broadcast. And apparently there have been a lot more unique picks being played off stream. I was talking to a couple of teams that have some secrets ready to go, so I'm excited to see where that goes. But of course, most likely going to be mid lane, maybe support. We'll see how that works out. But starting off with a Jax pick there for Indonesia, and then moving into a couple of tankier picks there in Thresh and Gragas starting to beef up their lineup here. But oh man, there's the Quinn Philippines. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. The bird lanes coming out with things like Quinn Anivia. I never expected that to be a combo I'd have to cast, but I've already seen it once today. Maybe looking at our second time around.
Might happen again, and probably Hecker coming in for top lane here. Do not really know much about this matchup against Jax. I know Hecarim has been nerfed quite a lot this patch just with the mana cost and base stats, so.
All right, it's gonna get locked in there. I mean, go for it. Hamud's gonna lock in the Hecarim now. We're pretty sure, or at least I was pretty sure that was gonna be a jungle, and then Rek'Sai was locked in, so it was like, okay, well, maybe gonna be top lane, maybe gonna be mid lane. Where's the brand gonna go? A lot of questions to be answered, but there is a Quinn pick locked in as well. Probably going to be AD carry, but then again, can't predict anything just yet. Looking at the last two picks here for Indonesia. Hopefully not a Teemo.
TF is also a very strong pick.
All right, well, TF synergizes very well with the Thunderlord's Decree. I know there's a lot of hype around that, but maybe a Yasuo Gragas works pretty well together. Also got Thresh Play and Death Sentence there to allow you to jump back into the fight. Switching around between a lot of different mid laners here for Indonesia, although probably Victor the most standard of any of the ones that have been selected.
Yeah, TF would have been good just because both bot and top lane has hard CC that can lock it down, so the TF can ult, but Victor also very good lane clear, very top tier mid laner right now. Gragas, forgot to mention, Gragas was picked instead of Kindred, so they're looking for a little bit more tankier, more utility-based jungler here. Has great disengage and engage.
Well, now we're looking for really the icing on the cake for this Philippine composition. Looking for an Ahri Victor, probably the most common mid lane matchup for a long time. Couple of metas ago, but does look like that is champion being hovered over. Plenty of opportunities to change this, but I'm kind of curious about where this brand is going. Could still be a mid lane, but it's looking like support.
Yeah, brand support, brand Quinn bot lane, lot of kill potential for this lane right here.
Right, you just land a stun and then all of a sudden Quinn gets like 3-4 procs of bonus damage. Like, oh, wait a second, I'm just dead. So
and just the pure damage output that it puts in without building any AP item, brand, very strong.
Well, that's going to do it for champion picks and bans for both sides. We've got about 30 seconds until this finally finishes up. Still trading around champions, and yeah, it does look like that is support brand with AD carry Quinn. Got a mid lane Ahri there for the Philippines team, and Terrorist running that Rek'Sai jungle again. Picard with the top lane Hecarim, the first one we've seen this tournament. So I'm excited to see how that works against Jax, especially since I think we've only seen one other Jax game.
Yeah, so keep in mind this is 5.23, so Hecarim has been nerfed. We have yet to see him in competitive play ever since his nerf, but this might be a good way to showcase how good he is or how bad he is.
Well, we're going to see, we're finishing up those picks and bans for Philippines taking on Indonesia. It's our last broadcasted match of the day, so if you guys have been enjoying the 7th IESF World Championships, hope you guys are ready for Indonesia versus Philippines. We've got that game coming up here in just a second. Once again, just because this is the last game of the day does not mean that IESF is over. We've got 3 more days of international competition coming your way, so make sure to come back tomorrow and the following days for even more international esports action. But here we go, we're starting things out, loading out onto the Rift here. We've got Indonesia facing off against the Philippines, and here we go with game number 6 of the day. Indonesia, of course, going to be your blue team for today's matches. The Philippines on the right in the red. Both teams starting off with couple of interesting pings, mostly Indonesia just saying, hey, we got to get to that enemy jungle. Let's go ahead and use this super fast home guard boost to boost ourselves out of base. And Donat will scout out this very strong push in, and already cashing in with some extra gold. Going to be able to get some of that as he walks back away. A lot more gold from early Spell Thieves procs. So he's actually going to be able to, I don't think he can pick up an extra potion after that, because they do cost more now. But it's going to be pretty exciting to watch now that that early invades may be thwarted. See what Indonesia decides to do after that.
Yeah, we saw Thresh start out with Q, not really necessarily good for laning, but was probably trying to catch someone out in the jungle with the early invades.
Now Phoenix dropping a little bit of a dance there, saying, all right, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. It's going to be exciting to watch this here. So at least for Hamoud in the mid lane, we've already seen his RA be incredibly strong. So what I want to know is, can that face off against Apple? I haven't had a chance to watch this Indonesian team, but we have seen the Philippines team already at least once today. Be interesting to see if they've sort of patched up a few of their weaknesses early, and already some interesting starts. If you talk about the corrupting potions on both top laners, we are going to have a little bit of a leash here for Phoenix, not going to go for that AD carry and support starting off with the camp and then walking the lane.
And then we see Hecarim and Rek'Sai starting on the top side of the jungle on their red side. So we're probably looking for early ganks bot lane at this moment.
Oh, nice dodge on that Death Sentence. It's really, really crucial. If the net had gotten hooked there, he would have taken at least half of his HP and damage. Now maybe turning that around. Did not force the flash. The counter flash coming in there, but will that be an overextension? Ginza does have some minions there to help him out, but overall, a lot of early action, but going to be resulting in a heal and flash down for Team Philippines.
Yeah, for Lucian, both summoners are down. Exhaust was used by both supports. No, actually, just Thresh.
A lot of action in the top lane as well. A lot of early trades there, but of course, with as much sustain as both top and bottom have, won't matter a whole lot. Still waiting for this gank to come in. There's a Death Sentence landing on it. Denad Gragas coming in from the side. Will they be able to find that kill? The body bounce, and that's going to be first blood for Phoenix.
Yeah, Gragas started on his red side, so did not go for the straight blue buff and just went down. Knew a heal was burned. Knew both summoner spells were burned on Lucian, so easy kill right there with the E-Flash, so great job.
Yeah, Phoenix coming in there with a very early gank. You don't expect the level 2 ganks anymore. A lot of times if you gank at level 2, you can just expect the other jungler to walk into your jungle and kill off the camp. And that's exactly what you just saw right there. Terra saying, hey, if you're going to gank my bottom lane, I'm going to gank your red buff, or your blue buff in that situation.
And then look at the CS differential right now in the bot lane, 19-5.
Turnaround here onto Luffy as he is forced to flash back away. It's going aggressive, but he actually missed the stun activation on Counter-Strike, so he's unable to get that stun off onto Kitguard. Still probably better because he would have kept fighting and might not have been able to disengage quite as quickly, but Luffy in a pretty good spot here. Kitguard, once again, you mentioned Hecarim being nerfed a little bit. One of the biggest nerfs to Hecarim is not being able to buy that home guard enchant for your boots super early on. Hecarim, Rammus, even Quinn to some extent, one of the few champions that really want to get that home guard early so that they can just rush back a lane over and over again. Well, this time around, won't be able to do that on this 5.23 patch. Death Sentence threading through the minions down there on the bottom half of the map. Pressure trying to shield himself up. So much damage down there. The last auto attack from Ginoza. Going to help Donat actually grab that kill. Trying to fight here through the minion line. God Nadir is still taking a lot of damage. Teleport back to the top lane though by Luffy. Going to get himself back in there in a hurry. Buys a cloth armor as his only purchase along with boots. Kind of curious about the boots purchase because that could have been a longsword, but instead just wanted that extra movement speed to maybe run away.
Maybe a Ninja Tabi rush. We're seeing a lot of competitive play top laners rush that boots. I haven't seen it since the patch, but might be what he's going for.
To be fair, I would have expected the same thing from Kitguard, but without being able to build those into home guard boots, Hecarim might just be going for standard Trinity Force itemization. He does have Ignite top lane on Hecarim instead of going for Flash. A spell that sometimes Hecarim doesn't necessarily need. Grab there on is not playing him backwards. There's so much damage going down. Not is out of there. God Nair able to pick up that kill and a double kill coming in there. Terra is trying to flash in to get the kill. He will shut him down, so that's a little bit of bonus gold coming his way, but wow, what a turnaround. 2 kills there. God Nair living up to at least the first half of his name.
Yeah, this bot lane, we just saw Quinn pick up 2 longswords and boots while Lucian has that BF with him. So this lane's not going to go in Quinn's way for a very long time or even the entire laning phase.
He'll have to be able to get decent CS underneath this turret there, but Kidgart, now that he's able to come back with maybe a little bit more tankiness, he can say, all right, I'm just going to AFK push this wave and try to make that as difficult to fight as possible. But now we're going to take a look at the jungle pressure and where we've seen that. So for Terrorist, he knows that he's got to get the Scuttle Crab. He also sees the wards. All right, taking that out. Recall, though, from Phoenix, so he's going to be off the map from a little bit. Bottom lane there, even more action. We talked about the kill potential here. So much Quinn damage. Oh my goodness. That burst is ridiculous. Godnair walks forward, decides walking backwards is probably a better idea. But here comes Terrace tunneling under the wall there. Won't be able to get any knockups there. Crusher just making sure you can usher him back away out of that bottom lane.
Yeah, whenever bot lane's playing that aggressive, that means he has some backup. So pull it out of there right away. We see mid roam down from Ahri.
And no vision on this gank coming in. There's going to be the Quinn just to make sure that nothing else is coming in there. This dive is going to be very, very strong there. We're going to see if they find 1 kill. Hamoud grabbing that kill on the Crusher. And luckily, Godnair says, all right, you got to take one for the team. I am out of there. So he survives, but support not quite so lucky.
I mean, it was telegraphed that when you saw the mid lane was gone, should have backed out right away, but 4-man dive, what can you do? Taking the drag off of this too.
Phoenix is in the area, so he's definitely got the potential to come in there and look for his steal. Dragon actually doing a lot of damage. Terrorist down to like 300 HP, so really good positioning there by Phoenix to say, hey look, I'm in the area, you guys are low, probably don't want to fight this, but Dragon resetting there, healing back up to half HP, and now it's actually going to be the Indonesian team that want to try to turn this one around. The Konoha All-Stars, if you will, representing Indonesia, coming in, and are you able to grab a dragon off of that? And that was just kind of the fault of Choi Gaming, representing, of course, the Philippines, saying, we want to go for this dragon, but not really expecting to have to tank it for quite that long.
Yeah, so the game's very even right now here in 8 minutes, only 400, 200 goal difference. Ahri did pick up that kill, so might be able to rush that Abyssal Scepter a little bit faster. We see Jax trying to farm jungle both camps right now, taking the Wolves first and now taking the Gromp and going back to lanes because the lane was pushed in. So see a lot of CS differential on the top lane too, which is, I find it very odd, but as I've said before, don't really understand a lot about this matchup, but apparently Hecarim's winning.
Yeah, it has been changed a lot, but rushing Mercury Treads, I don't know about that one. It's certainly going to be okay at denying the CC from things like Jax stunning with Counter-Strike, but I don't know about that. It's going to be good to avoid getting all that Gragas damage and even maybe roams from Victor as well. So I mean, maybe you've got like 3.5 ability power champions on the enemy team. Might be worth rushing that, but that does delay anything like a Trinity Force if Kidgart wants to go more aggressive. But I don't know, it's going to be less about like that individual lane matchup and more about the interaction between the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, you used to rush boots on Hecarim just because of the passive with the E and how much damage it does with just boots and the faster build for building home guards, but with the changes now, I don't think that's a very optimal item build at this moment.
Right, so still trying to get a feel for exactly which lanes are really going to be the game changers here, but Kidgart, decent ward coverage, he's going to keep himself safe from any Phoenix ganks coming up. But his ward is about to expire, so he might be a little bit more vulnerable here in a minute. And
with the ward, you see the red team, Team Philippines, prioritizing that top side jungle way more than any other lane. You see both two pinks right there.
Here comes Quinn. I feel like, here comes Vi. Maybe Quinn needs her own theme song like that. Gioza trying to get the roam on, running up towards mid lane, but really not a whole lot to happen. Especially, oh man, there's the ult and on to Luffy. Ignite's actually going out there as well. But look at that damage. The creep wave is actually dealing most of that. Kidgart gets in there with the kill and is able to escape the creep wave as well. Really epic 1v1, but Kidgart knowing that kill potential.
knew his power spike, knew one, and even with that Mercurial Threads, he still was able to do enough damage to kill that Jax, and with that Ignite damage also coming in. It's a great kill in the top lane right now. Might change things around.
That's just the power of Ignite, being able to run that and teleport at the same time, sort of the best of both worlds there. It does trade a little bit more mobility by not having flash, but doesn't really even need it. Flash forward, there's the play backwards. They're not in a really rough situation. Godnair just mows him down there. I was going to say the equalizer to take him out, but that's the Rumble ult there. It's going to be able to drop that one down. And I mean, to be fair, really great duo lane situation for Godnair. He's 3 kills, only 1 death, but while individually he's doing very well for Indonesia, Philippines has more strength spread out across the board.
Again, this game would also again come down to whether the top laners can split push against it themselves, and right now Hecarim's winning that trade at now, so but if Jax becomes that split push threat later on in the game, we don't know what might happen. So Lucian getting kills, very good thing.
Still has nothing but a BF sword there, so still looking for some extra itemization. I'd expect something along the lines of an Essence Reaver picked up there. We've seen that be pretty standard Lucian first item. Maybe an Infinity Edge, but I'd guess Essence Reaver there. And pretty much the same thing for Quinn as well. But as far as big item pickups going back to base there, yeah, Godnair is going to be able to pick up not only that BF sword, but has also got the makings of, I guess that is going to be Essence Reaver in there, so we'll see if he's able to pick that one up here in just a second. Hamoud, though, already with his first major completed item in that Abyssal Scepter, going to be pretty game-changing if he's able to get in on any of these big team fights. He's got Dragon in about 1:30, so maybe that's the action he's looking for, but possibly looking to see some roams here. I know we've seen Quinn roam a couple times, but not really to great effect.
Yeah, a lot of early MR coming from both top laner and the mid laner. We just saw Hecarim build that face to turn it into a Triforce, which will become way much more stronger than he is right now. Pressure that little bit of top lane, but
we'll see about this jungle situation. Phoenix is going to walk right into that stun. So much damage there. We could see Terrace try to get in there. Blocks the body slam and forces out a flash. Great positioning. And even a flash there from Apple being forced out as he didn't expect or didn't respect the Ahri coming down there. But now Donette actually overextending there a little bit too much, too quickly. Apple very low as he looks to go down. Summoner Heal keeps him alive there in the back. Able to turn it back around there. Luffy jumps in, gets the kill, jumps back out immediately. Terrace very low there. We've got the Ahri versus Godnair. Double kill. Lucian, so strong flash forced away there. So I feel like every single flash was just blown there. I guess I was correct, at least for the Philippines, but of course, one of their champions doesn't even have that summoner spell, so I guess that means it's always.
So, I mean, I guess all the flashes are gone at this point.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, they try to catch the jungler out, the Gragas out with Brand and Rek'Sai, but wasn't doing enough damage.
7 flashes blown in that team fight. I just had to count that up afterwards. So, yeah, there's a lot of flashy play going on there. In the end, though, I think you can pretty much say Godnair, he's making up so much of this Indonesian national team. Like, I don't want to say this is like a protect the 80 carry composition, but they're putting a lot of eggs in that 80 carry basket. If they don't protect it, that's a lot of kills that just get taken off the board. So something interesting to keep an eye on as the game develops. And really for the Philippines, they had a couple of nice things work out for them there in that team fight. Gyoza able to get a lot of burst damage initially, and along with Donat, there was a nice pick attempt on the Phoenix. Unfortunately, when you try to burst down the tank and that doesn't work out, you might not have a lot left over for the rest of the team.
See, I thought the Hecarim was going for the Triforce, but Kikar actually opting to build it into Frozen hard after the phase here. Tries to build more tankiness for team fights.
That dragon going down will be the second dragon to the Indonesian national team. That is going to put them really, really close to third dragon, which is pretty good because that does give them the extra mobility that they'll need towards the mid game to be able to maybe out-rotate their opponents there. Luffy, I think he's scouted out Kidgar. He's like, I know what's going on there. Trying to steal away the blue buff, but he will help Apple get that one. Death Sentence, though, will pull Terrorist back, but with no follow-up, I think he's pretty safe for now.
Interesting about this game, it's been 15 minutes and no turret has been down at this point.
Too much fighting, man. We've already got so many kills early. Maybe not quite as many as some of our more bloodthirsty games, but it's still exciting to see all this action going down. And keep in mind, this is a little bit later in the group stages, so most of these teams have had the opportunity to play their first games, sort of get acclimatized to this IESF atmosphere, playing against other national teams. So starting to get things warmed up. So interesting to see here, especially for these two teams, both 0-1 in their groups. The winner of this match still stays alive. The loser, unfortunately, with 2 more 2-0 teams in the group, all but out of the tournament.
Current putting a lot of pressure on that Jax. I don't know if it was a wrong trade or just the way that Jax was dirty farming, but you see Gragas coming in here. He's already used up his Z, and
you're kind of confused at the sneakiness of that. I mean, you're Gragas, so there's just like this huge dude that's trying to sneak through the bushes. I don't think that worked very well, but yeah, he eases over and tries to be sneaky, and he's like, wait, I need to get out of here. So then he just like body slams back away. Oh, here comes Quinn. Yoza with so much damage to put down. There's the Brand ultimate as well. It bounces back off a minion and prioritizes the champion because he'd already been hit. Takes him down. That's why he picked that Brand support. Right?
Bounce. No AP item build other than that support item, but still does a whole lot of damage when it bounces. So.
And he still might have even killed him off of the burn from Brand's passive after that anyway, so it's just incredibly well played. Donad's perfectly calculating that minion placement there. It's like, all right, I know it's going to bounce off, guaranteed kill, able to make that one work out.
Like you mentioned, Lucian did go with that Essence Reaver. He's not back in lane as of now, so this turn might be pushed by the time he comes, or they might just back away.
Yeah, probably just going to back away there. Quinn recalling means that he's going to be off the map for a second, but probably able to ult back on, get out there just as quickly. 3 more minutes until players get home guards, so Quinn won't have that ability as she might have previously, but hey, already looking through all the games today, we've seen 2 AD carry Quinns. I'm not sure if that's just the Gyoza special or if that's something that maybe we can expect from the current meta. I know Quinn jungle is something that's starting to get pretty popular, but haven't seen blessed with that here today.
Again, like I mentioned in the previous game, Quinn maybe a very good laner.
Oh, here's the teleport down to the bottom lane from Gidgard. Actually going to go through with the ultimate, knock Godnair away, but I'm not sure if this is necessarily going to be very effective, as he should be able to just run away from all that. Gidgard's still chasing him out there. He's going to get a lot more damage. Look for the ignite. That burst damage is ridiculous. Gidgard going in there for 1 kill. Gets a double kill. Might be looking for more. There's the Brand ultimate. It's going to be bouncing back and forth between the minions, but unable to find.
What can you do as an ADC at that point? You see a big horse running towards you, you try to get away, but there's nothing you can do.
That's actually a pretty interesting reaction between a single AD or a single champion and a minion wave. So the way these Brand's ultimate works is it prioritizes champions who are ablaze. So if you set someone ablaze with a skill, or even with just the ultimate itself, and they're the only champion near a minion wave, you're guaranteed to get at least 3 procs of his ultimate off. And then of course you can go for stuns, bonus damage, other things like that. But still really interesting to see all that damage from Brand come out just from bouncing through minions. And Mr. Godnair pretty unhappy about that. He's been the recipient of that a little bit too many times this game. So he's got 5 kills. He's got the most kills on his team, but he also, of course, has the almost the most deaths. He's got 4 deaths on Crushers, so.
Luffy was able to get that top turret, though, and he did pick up his first item, Gwynzon's Rage Blade, a few minutes ago. So he did hit that power spike, so I don't know how he's going to utilize this power spike, maybe in team fight, maybe split pushing, but we'll just have to see.
Gwynzon's Rage Blade is ridiculous as an item. However, on this patch, it's actually been made, I think, about 300 gold more expensive, yes. So it takes a little bit longer to build, but when you build it, it is still ridiculously strong. It's like 30 on-hit damage once you stack it up. It's just like, wait a second, that's actually incredible amounts of damage. So Jack's pretty strong, doesn't have Trinity Force though, and it looks like instead of going Trinity Force, he's going to be opting for probably the Gunblade build here. Grab lands onto Terrorist, plays it back in. Oh, he actually knocks up and then flashes in. Not quite the right ordering there. Phoenix trying to run away there. He's going to heal himself up there with a happy hour. But with Luffy taking out Hamu, this could go very, very well for the Indonesian national team. They find a snipe there on the mid laner. Lose their support for it, but should be able to keep that push alive. Meanwhile, speaking of pushing, Kidguard already taking down that top lane outer turret.
Overall trades happening everywhere right now.
I was actually going to ask you about all those early trades. So we've got a 3-1 Hecarim, kind of crushing that top lane matchup, but with Jack scaling up, like, what's the scaling look like? Is there any particular power spikes for Hecarim? I mean, he's in a pretty good place right now. Gyoza, though, going in, might have looked for apples, but it's a little bit too far away.
Of course, the biggest power spike that comes as a Hecarim is when you build that Triforce, and then you have the Ignite up with the teleport. I mean, I guess we don't have the home guard advantage now, but the teleport and straight up just dashing straight to the ADC and ulting and Qing once with an Ignite would one-shot the ADC, so it's a very strong item. He also does have that Frozen Arts that is more effective in team fights, but Jax in 1v1 situation will kill you instantly and does have that split push pressure way bigger than the Hecarim. So we're taking a drag off of this right now.
This is actually really key because that's going to deny the third dragon from the Indonesian national team. However, in response, Indonesia will be able to take down not one but 2 turrets, getting a little bit of extra value there out of that one. Luffy, he's not even scared. He's got that, actually probably either better to save the minions if you want to go for a fight or just power push that out and look for some help from the team. And it does look like the rest of the Indonesian national team sort of rotating up through the enemy jungle just to make sure that Jax is safe and sound, and going for a 21.5-minute Baron. I don't know if you're quite far enough ahead for this, but with very little ward coverage in the area, none of them being scouted out here. Baron down to half HP, and no one from the Philippines knows how. Finally, Gyoza starting to get wise to it, unable to steal that away, and that is a 22-minute Baron for Indonesia.
Very sneaky Baron. They push up both ways, top side and mid lane, so they have to the other opposing team has to deal with that, and sneaks the Baron right in that short timing. The opposing team had no vision. Great play by the Indonesian team.
Yeah, Indonesia really, really smart there, able to deny a lot of vision. And even though there was that scrying ward placed out there right outside the Baron pit, it wasn't in range to see anything inside. And it turns out you got a lot of champions that can just run over that wall. Lucian dash, you've got Thresh that's able to pull people in, and of course Body Slam, jump in from Luffy and Phoenix. Pretty cool way to get in there and get out with the Baron buff.
And now with that Baron buff, we can see now Jax trying to split push that first tier turret off of that bot lane, and it's gonna be a continuous trend like this the entire game if it goes way of the Indonesian team. So looking very good.
Now, I was actually expecting the Gunblade build from Jax just because of how well both of those hybrid stats synergize, but oh wow, look at that Thunderlord. Proc, really, really high damage from Ginoza. And to be fair, it does look like, okay, that is going to be Static Shiv after the Essence Reaver. So for once, we're seeing an 80 carry not rush Static Shiv. But both of them will be building that eventually. And with even more crit built in there, of course, synergizing with, the CDR there on Essence Reaver. It's going to be interesting to see how these both of these 80 carries work out against each other. Donat very, very low HP off of that culling, dealing a ton of damage, but we'll see how both teams match up here. The bottom lane, of course, Baron buffed up minions, going to be giving a little bit of an advantage there to the Indonesian national team. Of course, with not as low as he is, the tower may not be around for much longer.
The donut is very low right now. I mean, I don't think they're going to try to continue to push this up, but if they decide to do so, they have a very good chance in general. Looks like they're just trying to get all the buffs in that, try to get the vision down here. You might see Team Philippines try to engage on this right now, but I don't think they can.
Yeah, you can tell there was some sneakiness about to happen. Like Phoenix was waiting right over the wall for maybe like body slam into explosive cast to catch someone out. You got Valor helping Quinn be super fast. Of course, that is level 2 ulted Valor, so I think that's 100% extra move speed, because it gets 120, I believe, off of rank 3.
Yeah, so they do have great length there. They can probably take this turret off right now. When the Jax does have his TP back, just go back up the top lane or mid or bot lane, can just keep pushing, split pushing, 4-1, and join in when the team fight happens.
Right. To be fair, Kidguard did have his own teleport, but there really wasn't a great teleport opportunity for him to keep in on. If he had teleported, he might have just died instantly. And okay, Gyoza, kind of wondering what the play was right there, but just trying to clear waves out. Philippines not looking to make any big plays to come back into this, just trying to play it safe. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess. They are behind a decent amount of gold here at the 25-minute mark, but not necessarily out of this just yet.
Good thing that Team Indonesia is doing, or Team Philippines, I'm sorry, is doing right now is they're not giving up their vision. You see that there are no blue wards placed on the red side of the jungle right now, so they're trying to keep the vision away as possible so they can make plays in their own jungle. So that's something that's good coming out from the team that is currently down right now, about 4K, 5K now.
Right, that's a really good point to make, Justin, because when it comes to vision control, when you're behind, controlling vision in your own jungle, it makes it so difficult for the enemy team to push into. And so you actually saw most of the Indonesian team recall back to base and say, look, we got to get some extra wards to throw out there. We've got one pink ward onto Crusher, but do need to refill some of those extra wards on out there. So, I mean, Sightstone picked up there, and Crusher is not actually combining his Sightstone into his support item, something new that you can do on this preseason patch. And so he's actually going for the shield's pretty standard there. You want that facing the mountain, able to protect your AD carry. We got 1v1s up the top lane. Kidguard won that up early on, but something tells me he may not be in quite as strong a situation here. Luffy, a lot of damage to deal there with that range blade, but here comes Gyoza running in as Quinn. Kidguard very, very low, goes down. Luffy half HP. Gyoza, he's gonna back out of there, decides differently.
Yeah, at this point, Hecarim cannot 1v1 Jax with both Blade of the Ruin King and Ruins' Rage Blade.
Need more blades. There's Gwinsu's Rage Blade. How many other blades are there?
Blade of the Ruin King.
Hextech Rage Blade. No, just kidding. I want to combine all these items into one, but that would be a little bit too good. Gyoza up there to defend this lane. I'm not sure if that's really Quinn's primary purpose in this team, but still going to be able to take down all these minions, get all that CS, and as far as CS goes, that is something we should talk about. A lot of these games we've seen big differentials, but this one actually is pretty close. The biggest difference comes out of the jungle, actually, with Phoenix being so far ahead. But with this dragon taken down, that is finally the third dragon for Indonesia. That means that they will be able to move around this map so much more quickly.
I think I want to talk about Twin ADC. I've seen it twice in this series just now. I see that it has high kill potential during laning phase, but I don't see her doing a lot more in teamfights. Right now we see her coming in and get hooked. Yeah,
jumps in, gets hooked immediately. Still a lot of damage left to deal, but Hamoon might be a little bit too far forward. Look at that explosive cast, Phoenix. So good on that ultimate. Here comes the teleport onto the Rek'Sai tunnel. Kidguard actually might be forced to ultimate out of there. Instead decides to go back in. A lot of damage left to deal there. Luffy super low, but actually looks like Phoenix gonna go on a killing spree. Gonna get himself a second kill out of that one. Incredibly well played here by this Gragas jungle, and it doesn't look like Indonesia are stopping yet. Flash forward there from Crusher. It looks like the body slammed the flash on, and Phoenix helping out so much. This time he's gonna be nice and give the kill over to God in Air, but after all of that, Indonesia crushing those fights. They're gonna crush down a second tier mid lane turret as well.
Yeah, great hook coming in from Crusher. And both top laners from opposing sides were 3v1ing at their own spaces, but with the flash, Luffy was able to get out. Kidguard without flash wasn't able to.
Yeah, great playing around those flash timings. Dona actually did have flash, but got just blown apart too quickly for that to really be of much use. For Gyoza, like you were actually talking about, Justin, really great burst potential during the lane phase, but like when it comes after that, it's like, well, I've got the ability to jump in and die. I've also got the ability to like try to 1v5 and die. I don't know, it's just kind of a confusing role for Quinn to be in. And it, like I was actually predicting the static shift because we've seen that being so popular for AD carries, but actually going for the rapid fire cannon there just to add some extra range. See how effective that is. Now both teams here on the Baron. Looks like Indonesia trying to snipe out their second one. It's gonna get taken by Hamoon. What on earth? He's gonna steal that Baron away for the Philippines and might actually be able to turn this one around. Jax trying to get that 1v1. He does. Luffy in the backline. So much damage. He's got a double kill. He's looking for more. Very, very low HP, but he's able to dodge all of these attacks. Might be looking for a triple kill. There's a triple for Nair. And it's actually gonna be a turnaround with Indonesia on the ace.
Great steal by Hamad on their Ari, but just wasn't able to turn that fight around afterwards.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, to be fair, Hamud was doing the utmost. He was trying to win that fight for the team, but Luffy just way too strong. The amount of lifesteal, spell vamp, all that craziness is coming in there from Luffy. Actually, just lifesteal. I forgot they moved the spell vamp off of Rage Blade to Mob Malmortius. But yeah, after that ace, pushing into the base, this might actually just be the game. Really low death timers there for most of the members of the Philippines, but with so much damage left to put down, this is going to be the game for the Indonesian national team, pushing in onto the Nexus, and 17-11 in 30 minutes. Indonesia will take out the Philippines.
Great game. Everyone tried to hit their power spike, but Jax, after losing to Hacker and top lane, came out as the game scaled on. It was very nice to see both sides trying to do their best, but Team Indonesia comes out at the top in the end.
And Indonesia, impressive play there. They will survive in their group for now. Philippines, unfortunately, going to take next to a miracle for them to come out there. Indonesia, great play. I've loved watching their games here today. It's going to be exciting to see them, possibly a little bit more on tomorrow, depending on, of course, the results of these group stage games. But that is going to do it for our broadcasted League of Legends games from these preliminaries here on day one of the 7th IESF World Championship. Hope you guys have enjoyed the games. If you have, continue to join us for days 2 and following as IESF continues. Here coming to you live from the Nexon Arena in Seoul, South Korea. Do you want to give a quick recap of where these groups stands coming in towards the end of the day? Now, most of these games have concluded, so let's go ahead and run down some of these scores. We've got Israel, Mongolia, and Chinese Taipei, three-way tie at 1 and 2 in Group A. So Serbia definitely getting out of that group, and really impressed with Serbia. Not a region that I would have expected to be quite that strong. They really showed up, so real props to them. Of course, in Group B, we've got 2-0, 2-0, so definitely some tiebreakers to go on there, and of course, one match apiece left to be played for all of those teams. But Group C, actually a little bit dominated by China, but I've seen a little bit shaky. We'll see whether or not Australia or Romania can maybe secure their next spot out of that group, or Tunisia can maybe make a surprise comeback.
Group D right here, we got Korea, Indonesia. We just saw the game between Philippines and Indonesia, and Indonesia comes out with 1 win, 1 loss. Korea now has 2 wins, Russia with 1 win and 1 loss. So it's going to be a fight between Indonesia and Russia to advance us from this Group D right here. It's going to take a miracle for Philippines to come out. So.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our group rundown. Hope you guys have been excited to see the group stage games today. And of course, look forward to bringing you guys even more games tomorrow. So make sure to hit the follow button, bookmark it, make sure to come back up here. This has been an exciting day of League of Legends, so I do want to thank everyone for watching. So on behalf of myself, my wonderful co-caster Justin, and all of us here at IESF, we want to thank you for watching these League of Legends preliminary matches today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.